people forgot about Giuliani at one point in time. People thought he should be president.
Yeah.
After the way he handled 9/11,
That's
everybody
right.
was like, he's our leader.
Yeah, and just because he walked down the street with a coffee and said, "Oh boy, it's rough," that's basically what he did. He didn't stop 9/11. He didn't solve 9/11. He didn't save anybody. There was no one to save. That's the most fucked up thing about that day is that there was no, they had the hospitals were all ready and there was not like one, there was like nobody was injured.
Were you
Just
living in
killed.
New York City when that happened?
Yeah, I was. I was not in the city. The day before, on the 10th, I flew to L.A. to pitch a fucking TV show.
Wow.
And my wife was pregnant, and we were living in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which was right. I mean, you came out of our house, the towers were our view right out the door. And so she was there 6 months pregnant and whammo. And she called me. It was like 9 in the morning in L.A. or earlier, I guess. It was like 6. And she called me and she was just bawling. And I was like, what's wrong? And she couldn't say anything. And I was like, what the fuck is going to... Partly I'm like, am I in trouble? Like, and then she says, turn on the TV. And I saw the towers on fire. And I was like, oh, okay. It's nothing to do with home. This is it's a world problem, not a me problem.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure that's not my fault. No. Anyway, she handled it really well. Todd Barry, you know who Todd, right? He called her. She's the one who told him like what had happened. He woke up not understanding what was happening, and he was really scared, and called my ex-wife, and she calmed him down. She's a good person. But anyway, yes, and I was like, get out of this. I just panicked living in Manhattan. Because I grew up with movies like Warriors. And with memories like the blackouts, and I wasn't even there for the blackouts, but there was all these blackouts where everybody got killed, and there was a lot of movies about like New York City is shut down, and everybody, and the wolves come out.
Yeah.
So I thought, as soon as it happened, I told her, get out of Manhattan. There's just going to be people throwing TV sets through windows in like 5 minutes. I just believed
I Am
it.
Legend.
Yes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So get the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
So she got out of there. And then I was on the road, and I was in L.A. I was supposed to pitch a show, and I called the network, and I said, I assume the meeting is canceled. And they said, yeah, but if you want your show to go forward, we have to have. They made me do pitch a comedy
On September 11th?
on the 12th.
Oh, the 12th. Well,
I had
they
to
gave
go
you a
in.
day off.
What's that?
They gave you a day off.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a day to let everything settle
Yeah, the
in.
12th is my birthday. But so I had to pitch a fucking comedy, and it was horrible. I mean, obviously that was, terrible. And then I went back on the road. I was doing gigs. So I was flying as soon as they were flying. There was no airplanes for...
How many days was it?
I don't remember how long they didn't fly for, but I think it was a couple of weeks before a flight went up. I don't remember, but I started flying right away. And the airports were all empty, and everyone was allowed in the lounges, and everyone was getting upgraded to first class because the planes were empty. And for a while, it was part of the protocol. Before the flight takes off, they used to say they would give you the safety stuff, and then they would say you can use your seatbelt, detaches, you can use it as a weapon.
Oh, Jesus.
You can use your seat as a shield. And
They were telling you that?
Yes, they would say this is part of the thing for like the first month after 9/11, and they would say, we're here to protect you, but you have to protect us. They would say that. And there was one flight I took where I was flying first class, like seat 1B. I was right at the bulkhead, and this other guy sitting at one seat across from me, and the captain came out right before the flight, and he kind of squatted between us, and he said, listen, fellas, because it was a red eye. He said, you're the last line of defense, so I need you not to sleep on this flight.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I need you not to sleep
Yeah, he
on
told
the
us not
flight
to
to
sleep.
defend him.
Yeah. But of course, there's part of me that's like, I'm a guy, so I'm like, oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was excited.
Yeah, I got asked once by a lady. These two guys were fighting, and they were thinking about removing the guys from the plane because one guy had put his bag above this other guy's seat. And the other guy goes, hey, man, that's for my seat. And he's like, no, it's first come, first serve. Yeah. He's like, no, fuck you. And then they were like, fuck you. No, fuck you. And then the lady had to come in and go, hey, like, I will fucking kick both of you guys off the plane.
Yeah. This is before you took off?
Before we took off. She goes, do we have an understanding? And they go, yeah. And then she comes to me. She goes, hey, if anything goes down, you're going to help, right?
She deputized you?
She deputized me. I'm like, okay.
I mean,
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Yeah, like,
What am I
are the
allowed to
official...
do?
Like,
Yeah.
What's my directive? What
Yeah.
are my orders?
If I go back there and smash some guy, am I in trouble? Like, what happens? What am I allowed to do?
Yes, you were directed by a company employee, and she has like federal power.
I need you to put that on video. Like
Yeah,
say
that's
it.
what I would've
Say
done.
it on my phone.
Yeah.
Say, go ahead. Yeah,
That
I
would've
need to
been-
know what's going on. But, first of all, I don't know who's right. I mean, this one
Right.
guy who says it's his seat and it's above his seat,
Yeah.
he's kind of got a point. And the other guy's got a point, too. Like, if that's the only space that's open.
I don't think it's about who's right.
Right.
In that situation, it's not about who's right about that.
Right.
It's about if somebody throws hands.
Well, it was
They are
about
now wrong.
one guy was really douchey about it. Like, he could have been like, there was nothing else available.
Right.
Do you want, like, is there a space over here? I'll move your bag for you.
Yeah.
Like, he could have made a...
So many
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, they could have made some sort of a considerate...
He's probably got something at home. You know,
Probably.
you get on a plane after a fight with whoever at home.
Oh, yeah.
And
Work sucks.
At home, he can't say it. He's got somebody who he's fighting with who he needs to
Right.
suppress.
Yeah.
And so the first motherfucker,
Yeah.
you know,
Or he's just a dick.
he's just an asshole.
Could
Yeah.
be just a dick.
I can't get my head around that. That there's I always think it's something that's bothering him. I can't get my head around somebody who's just like,
Well, some people think you
Just an
have to be
asshole.
that way to get ahead. You have to be a dick to get ahead. Like, there's people that have that mentality.
right. And there's people that feel comfortable if they can do that.
Yeah.
They're just comfortable if they can have whatever they want. So if you challenge it, they have their logic. Usually it's just fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
he tried one argument, and his second argument
Yeah.
was "fuck you," and that some dudes like to just take up that kind of space, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, this is all mine,
Yep.
and fuck off. And I'm not. If I do one thing for somebody else, it's going to start chinsing in. So I'm not doing that.